Hi there. I have a great pub card basically for a birthday. Mostly guys, but even women. I think you'll enjoy this. We'll show you what we'll be using. We have the birthday brewing set, which is part of our necessities range, as well as the 3 cheers set. Now we're just going to be using the sign a little bit in it, but I just thought I'd show it to you. And we're also using the tumbling blocks through the embossing folder. I apologize, I don't have this one in a package, but we're going to use this straight off. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and used some pixie powders. And since you've seen me do pixie powders a zillion times, I thought I would just share with you the colors I've used. Silver Dream, Rich Gold, Ancient Copper, and Pewter. So these are all kind of metallic-y colors, and you get just really kind of an interesting look with this. I think it's kind of more of a masculine sort of a thing, but I've done that and I've cut it on a diagonal. So now what I want to do is bring it in and use the tumbling blocks, and I want to emboss that up, so I'm going to pop it on this side of the folder. Put that flat. Oop. Take my cutting plate off and the raspberry adapter. Just a quick run through on that one. So that will give me some lovely embossing. I love having just a bit of texture on my cards because I think it really adds something. So I'm going to put this onto a piece of coconut white card as a base, and I think I'll just use a little bit of glue here. Pop that around the edges. There we go. Into those corners. And line that up with the bottom down here. That looks pretty good. And I have this thing about things that meet like that, so I've cut just a little bit of a strip of silver card that I'm going to pop over the top of that. You could leave it if you like. I just kind of like to have a little border in between them. There we go. So I'm going to put that on the diagonal, straight along the edge there, and then we'll just trim away the extra bit. Let me just pop that up a little higher. Give it a second. And just take my scissors, and I'm going to use the edge of the card, trim away the extra bit there. Okay. Get rid of that. So that's all ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that in and put it onto my backing, and then we'll kind of work up from there. White on white. I've got a little bit of silver to kind of bring out the color in the pixie powders and in my little border strip there. Pop that into the center. There we go. So now what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut 2 of the beer keg. I've done one just regular and cut it out of some chestnut brown card, and I've done a second one which I've gone ahead, and all of this is debossed, so I just used a black marker to kind of fill that in. I'm going to bring in some walnut stain and give it a little bit of inking, just sort of ink it around the edge, give it some dimension, bring out some of that detail. There we go. And you can even sort of, if you want to take the pointy tip and sort of bring it into the little debossed areas, you can do that. You could use a pencil if you prefer, just to give it a little more detail. And that deboss looks really nice on that, so you've got quite a bit of detail going on. And I also want to bring this in just around the bottom, the sort of support legs for the keg. Give that a little bit of ink all the way around. There we go. Put that to the side. And I've got a white pencil. I'm going to add a tiny bit of detail around the little pory part, I guess what you call it. The little keg on and off thing. There we go. So you can see that a little bit up here. Just add a little detail there. So I've got some mounting foam on the back of this. So what we're going to do is put that right over the top of this one. And that will give it just a little bit more of a 3-dimensional look. Okay, we're going to put that at the top. I'm going to fill that section in right here. Okay. And then what I did was I took this die right here, little pub sign, and I cut a couple of these, and I just nipped away the actual sign. I've just used the little top bit just as a little decoration across the top, and I've cut away some little bits, and I've used a silver paint pen on it, so I'm just going to use some spray glue and spray these. So I've got two that are more or less full, and then I've got some little itty bitty bits. So let's pop those on just along the top here. There we go. Give that a second. Got this one. Just going to line that up across there. And then I've just got a couple little pieces here. Let me grab some tweezers. Give this a little spray. Just to sort of fill in there. Like that. Because it didn't quite fit all the way across, I did a little half piece. There we go. Pop that on there, right at the top. Give that a second. Okay, now I've got the little beer glass and the beer bottle here. So what I'm going to do is take some fossilized amber, Distress Oxide. I'm going to put this onto the beer glass, just towards the bottom there. Okay, and some white PVA glue. Yep, and let me move this out of the way. And I'm just going to put a little bit at the top where the foam is. And you can use, there is puff paint you can use for this. I didn't have any, so I thought I'll make this work. And I think it works pretty well. I'm going to heat up my heat tool. And I'm just going to give this a little bit of a, in fact, you know what? It's a little bit hot, so I'm going to hold that like that. Just going to go in like this, and it will start to bubble. Can you see that? There we go. And you can kind of get it to look like foam. Just like that. Works like a charm. So I've got one I've done earlier that is actually dry. I'll bring that in. And on my bottle, I've used a little bit of the walnut stain just along the bottom, so it's going to look like a brown beer bottle. You could even add a little bit of a glossy top over the top to make it look more like glass, you know, like a cosmic lacquer or something like that. Your call, just to dress up whatever way you want. And I've used a silver paint pen just to do the top, so it looks like it's got a silver foil on it. There we go. So I'm going to bring in these that I've done. Added a little mounting foam to the back of those already. We're going to put those on right over our pixie powdered area. So about like that. And this one's a little bit taller, going to slightly overlap. There we go. And like that. And for the sentiment, I've used the Brewing Up a Birthday Wish for You. I've done it in white a couple times, and there's a tiny little silver shadow on that. Add some glue. And I am going to add a little more glue in a couple spots since we've got that embossed background, just to help it grab. That should do the trick. I'm going to pop that right down on the bottom underneath our beer bottle. There you go. How quick and easy was that? I think that's a lovely card. Anybody who enjoys a little pint at the pub will enjoy a card like this. Hope you've enjoyed the video and look for us on our YouTube channel soon.